Gentlemen, what if I've told you the war against the machines has already begun?
Machines!
I think sadly, this war is a lot less cool than I imagined. I imagined personally sending projectiles through Boston Dynamics robot dogs in an attempt to help save my family from their flamethrower-equipped bodies. Gentlemen, real quick, I want to say a big, massive thank you to those that subscribed to this channel and got it over 100,000 subs. It's wild to me. I did not think this channel would be that. It was just supposed to be like a place where I could make these more outlandish videos and I was going to have fun with it and a good time, and it has hit over 100,000 subs, which is absolutely insane to think about. So a massive thank you. It is wild to see that and really cool. Like, it means a lot. I have a tough exterior, but on the interior, I'm soft. I'm vulnerable. I'm being raw and real. No, thank you. Seriously, thank you. It does mean a lot. Okay, now let's get back to the video. The future is shaping up to be rather alarming. This past week, I've seen a massive influx of Studio Ghibli-style AI art flooding my Twitter timeline. I refuse to call it X because I only know it as Twitter.
Okay, boomer.
Now, to be fair, this is a slightly different video than on the usual program where we really get outlandish with sci-fi stuff, but it does feel like we're entering into a whole new era of technology, and it's kind of crazy to watch. This past week, my timeline absolutely being flooded with Studio Ghibli-style art. Is that how you say it? Ghibli? Studio Ghibli? I always say Ghibli.
A Studio Ghibli production.
Ghibli? Studio Ghibli? Hooked on Pahonics, it's working for me! Which, the whole trend is alarming because, from what I understand, there's like certain scenes in some of those movies that took the animators like 13 months to make for a 4-second clip, and then some dude with AI can be like, hey ChatGPT, Studio Ghibli this photo, and it's like, here you go, I tried it out. I was curious, I wanted to see what it looked like. Personally, I think the Studio Ghibli art looks pretty fun. There's a certain aesthetic to it. There's a style that stands out, and it definitely has a big fan base. A lot of people, I mean, I never grew up watching or was big into the whole Studio Ghibli lore, but one of my friends, Micah, was like, hey dude, you never saw this movie from Studio, oh my God, it's gonna change your life. So I can understand there's a lot of electrifying buzz around that whole intellectual property. I mean, I immediately tried a whole different style of animation work. I put a photo in and I was, hey, ChatGPT, Clone Wars 2003, this photo. Spit it right out, and it looked sick. I looked cool, dude. Like a more Giga Chad version of myself. It was sick. But it does raise some alarming questions because I didn't have to pay some internet artist to do this work. I literally just have ChatGPT and it did it within 5 minutes, easy. It nailed the style, it nailed the look, and there was no human aspect. And in some ways, I find that kind of alarming. If I was like a creative animated artist type of person, I would essentially be looking at my future prospects very grimly. If this AI stuff never existed and I wanted that from an artist, they would probably charge me like $200-300 bucks. Devil's advocate, of course, as a consumer, consume! Like, as a consumer, you're like, oh, this is sick. I don't have to pay some freaking artist that I bullied in high school. I don't have to pay some artist to make this, right? I didn't bully anyone in high school, it's a joke. I was a very nice, friendly person. I'm way more friendly than I am now. I would bully, if I went back to high school now, I'd probably bully those kids.
I was an artist in high school.
Colton was an artist in high school behind the camera. I would have bullied Colton. If I went back in time, I would bully Colton now, but like if I was in high school then, Colton and I would have been homies. So I've devolved backwards. From a business standpoint, I think AI absolutely has massive amounts of merit. I think where it really does lack would be in the soul department. One thing I hate the idea of is consuming anything AI generated. And chances are it's happened and already happening. Like, I can easily recall when I'm doom scrolling and you're going through like shorts and you get caught in a doom scroll loop and it's like some regurgitated AI narrative story that is the backdrop of some sort of Minecraft speed run and or Minecraft obstacle course. And it's like, even channels that I kind of like, I've noticed and picked up on, like when they're faceless channels, the AI narration. I don't like that. I like the human element to art and creativity. Now, to be fair, making stuff is expensive. So from a business standpoint, I do get it. And hopefully one day the AI software gets good enough where I can, hey, you wanna leave the room real quick? Where I can fire my editor. You're fired! Video just cuts right there. What if the AI software gets so good, it just makes amazing videos your style? Probably gonna happen. And then the next thing is gonna be like the Boston Dynamics synthetic robots out there filming. I'm gonna get replaced by some hot cat girl. there's gonna be a massive futuristic reshuffle of jobs. I think there could be some really horrifying aspects to AI, like even thinking about warfare. I know like a lot of times on the channel we talk about like, how I would obliterate a horde of orcs, and it's like a massive nerd fest, but it's like in theory, in the future with this technology coming together, you could have a whole airborne division of AI Boston Dynamic robots with a synthetic muscle suit getting parachuted out of the back of like a C-130 or a C-17, and then they land and they have the AI, they're all working together, and they just kill real people, which would be absolutely horrifying to know that your life is at stake fighting just robots. But also, the war against the robots would be kinda sick. What if our only hope to win against the war of the robots is to distract those robots with cat robots? Wait, no. The only way to beat the AI robots is by giving them cat girl robots themselves and pacifying their desires of conquest. We just do like what the Americans did to the Soviet Union. I think it was what, like blue jeans, rock and roll, and down the Soviet Union. I like Wendigoon's tweet on it. People, AI is bad and you shouldn't feed it data. Those same people. Studio Ghibli? I like that tweet. Good job, Wendigoon. You get 5 big booms. I'm not doing the booms. Boom! On the Studio Ghibli trend, I actually do like all the photos that came out, like the memes, the Studio Ghibli style memes of all the famous world events going on. Phenomenal in Studio Ghibli format. They hit slightly different. And it's crazy to think too, like the amount of gold rush there is for that micro level of engagement for people on Twitter. Because one of my biggest complaints about Twitter is the incentivization of just rage baiting the hell out of everyone, and like good actual quality content just gets shuffled to the absolute bottom. Insane. Insightful. It's fun to think of like the trend gold rush for these kind of things when they do happen. Like just the dude at home realizing the Studio Ghibli trend's popping off and he's just freaking lighting his chat GPT on fire to get as much of that reference interaction as possible. Please make this meme, make this meme, make this meme. I want to make $30 off Twitter. I hate it here. I think even in myself, like thinking about what we do for a YouTube channel, being like a YouTube creator, right? You make YouTube videos and it's like, will AI ever replace me? Potentially. There's a lot of hard competition on the internet already, dude. There's a lot of thirst traps dudes can get locked in. There's a whole different side of the internet, whole different platforms. Fellas, do not give in to your carnal temptation.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
I will say it's also very interesting to see how constantly updated and good the AI is getting. Like there's all those YouTube videos a couple years ago where it's like, this is AI video now, it's garbage. And then now they have the updated video and it's like, this is AI video now, it's actually pretty good. And of course, all the boomers getting like baited on Facebook from AI content. And there could also be the dead internet theory where it's just a bunch of dead internet bots interacting with each other, and there's that whole thing. So I wake up, take a shit, get out of bed, and then I steal people's content and repost it with Subway Surfer in the background while it's narrated by an AI voice. I'm gonna find those dudes and just watch the light and hopes and ambition drain from their eyes. It's okay. You made too much AI content. I'm gonna reanimate Sir Arthur Wellesley from the grave and we're gonna go reconquer India and all the bot farms. Yeah, that was a good historical reference. Like, I feel like all this AI stuff makes a lot of the internet not fun. And it's really uncreative because like when you think about it, like the trend of the whole Studio Ghibli stuff, right? Like everyone sees the trend. It's like a fun thing, you know what I mean? It's like a fun thing. Sure, there's plausible questions about ChatGPT copyright, whistleblowers showing up dead in a very interesting kind of suicide with, you know, roofies in the city. This video is sponsored by ChatGPT. Dude, what if? the irony of that. Anyway, like, sure, there's implications of all that horrifying stuff, right? Copyright and all that, but it's still a fun trend to see. But if everyone can do this thing, then it kind of loses that special juice and runs out pretty quick. Like when I think about those people that are like, I made this much money off of AI, and they're like setting up a print-on-demand store or something and hooking up to Etsy, and then they out some design from AI and they slap it on, they're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna get all these sales from this mug. You know what, if they do and it sells like hotcakes, more power to you for being there first. But if everyone tries that, no one's gonna care about like these designs, and anything that has potential for being interesting does run the risk of copyright, in my mind at least, where it's like, oh, you know, I can take this IP and then I add the Studio Ghibli style art and I sell it. And it's like, all right, cool. You and a million other people tried that. I think for those people, the most profitable aspect of that is probably gonna be the video they made where they got you to click on that video because they're trying to capitalize on your human desire to gain wealth and economically advance yourself. If I was a trillionaire, I would do crazy stuff. I would pump a crocodile full of steroids and see how big I could get it and then release it like in Maine, like Lake Placid.
But that's not who I really am, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It sounds retarded. I'm just built different. To me, it does feel like there's a war in the artist. Like there is a entity out there and it has this potential to eliminate a lot of the human element of labor that went into creative processes. All these kind of people will most likely get, essentially schwacked by the big AI machine. It sucks, but this is kind of how innovation takes place. Like the horses probably got pissed when we all went to cars and they're like, dang dude, the machine took our jobs, nay. Or they were stoked, I don't know. They're tired of carrying us around. That being said, I think the worst aspects of it is the AI art trying to replace the human art that we would enjoy. And I don't want to sound too pretentious of like, oh guys, I'm in touch with my artistic creative side. I am a deep art appreciator. I mean, I do appreciate the arts, like the human element coming through, it's like.
I like good Austrian painter.
You can't. You don't do that right now. All right, he was fired and I got a new editor. I replaced him with an AI cat girl. I'll be right back. Back all sweaty.
Scratches.
I was watching Cops. Sorry guys, my AI cat girl robot ran away with the neighbor's AI Giga Chad robot. Press F to show respect. I think it is alarming because there are these artistic creative types that I follow that make, hand-drawn animation style of, it's their medium, it's their format at which they go on. Now there's this massive thing coming in where it's like, why would I pay you an exuberant amount of money for what this software can do with the click of a button? It's like, dude, they're staring down the barrel of being absolutely cooked. Now, I think there are artistic formats that will be safe. I think like the actual people that make up the creative aspect were like the subjects. Like I'm not gonna watch like some AI character in a movie, and potentially this could happen in the future where like maybe our kids are like, I don't care as long as the story's good. But it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that about art. Like I'm not gonna watch, I think it was Quebblecop that replaced himself with an AI character. I'm not watching Minecraft YouTube to begin with, whatever he does for YouTube, I don't know, in general. But I remember that was a whole thing on the internet where he replaced himself with an AI person, and it was like, dude, why? Like the whole aspect of this is that you are the draw for your audience. There's a bunch of people making YouTube videos, but what makes you stand out and be different? And I'm gonna self-reflect on that for myself. I did not come up with anything. You may unsubscribe now. If I'm truly being optimistic about it, I really hope that we do get some kind of AI-human war, where maybe it looks like Blade Runner, which would be very alarming because it's a humanoid looking thing where it's got like a face and it looks like a human. Hoping for more like Terminator, where they look like scary robots that want to blast you with a laser gun and you can shoot them with bullets, and it'd be like our next form of like humanity takes on the machines. I'm hoping that we kind of get that in a weird way. Like not really, but like if that was how this led to and we got some human versus robots, that'd be kind of sick. Best thing we could probably hold out for is we all just EMP the world and reset. And then in like 1,000 years, like how did they build this tower in France, the Eiffel, how did they do it? If it survives. Hey, if you're an artist out there that does these kind of animations, drawings, graphic design, time to become a diesel mechanic. Your days are numbered. All right, gentlemen, I got nothing else. Godspeed. Fight the good fight. Do not let the machines win.